I will say that the Bernie Sanders people
You guys are crazy!
You're an animal! Get a job!
Honestly, I've never felt more Palestinian than I ever felt in Congress. Even in Palestine, when I'm visiting my grandmother, I'm more American, like to the Palestinian. But I'm more Palestinian in the halls of Congress than I am anywhere in the country, in the world.
Whoa, did you see that? That right there, that's a sitting United States Congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib, getting physically dragged out. And right after, you hear her saying she feels more Palestinian in Congress than anywhere else in the country. Think about that for a second. More Palestinians in the halls of the US Congress. Now, why am I showing you this? Because the mainstream media will never show you this. They want you to think her antics started last month. They won't show you the pattern. They won't connect the dots between her getting thrown out of events for shrieking and her standing on the House floor today, spreading what many people are calling straight-up propaganda. You won't see this on CNN or MSNBC. They're too busy trying to paint her as a victim. But today, we're going to watch what happens when that kind of talk finally gets a reality check. We're going to see Rep. Chip Roy step up and absolutely expose the lies, one by one, leading to her getting censured. You're not going to want to miss this. Stick with me. And before we get to the main event, do me a huge favor. Smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. You and I are going to cover the stories the mainstream media refuses to touch. Let's get into it.
The gentlelady cannot, as a member of Congress, be standing up and telling the world that what we saw unfold in attacking Israel is justified. We can't.
I'm the only Palestinian American serving in Congress, Mr. Chair, and my perspective is needed here now more than ever. I will not be silenced, and I will not let you distort my words. I can't believe I have to say this, but Palestinian people are not disposable. We are human beings, just like anyone else. My city, my grandmother, like all Palestinians, just wants to live her life with freedom and human dignity we all deserve. Speaking up to save lives, Mr. Chair, no matter faith, no matter ethnicity, should not be controversial in this chamber. The cries of the Palestinian and Israeli children sound no different to me. Why? What I don't understand is why the cries of Palestinians sound different to you all. We cannot lose our shared humanity, Mr. Chair. I hear the voices of advocates in Israel, in Palestine, across America, and around the world for peace. I am inspired by the courageous survivors in Israel who have lost loved ones, yet are calling for a ceasefire and the end to violence. I am grateful to the people in the streets for the peace movement, with countless Jewish Americans across the country standing up and lovingly saying, "Not in our name." We will continue to call for a ceasefire, Mr. Chair, for the immediate delivery of critical humanitarian aid to Gaza, for the release of all hostages and those arbitrarily detained, and for every American to come home. We will continue to work for a real lasting peace that upholds human rights and dignity of all people and centers in peaceful coexistence between Israelis and Palestinians, and censures no one, and ensures that no person, no child has to suffer or live in fear of violence. 71% of Michigan Democrats support a ceasefire. So you can try to censure me, but you can't silence their voices. I urge the President to have the courage to call for a ceasefire and the end of killings. Thank you, and I yield.
I understand the perspectives with respect to free speech, and I certainly wish to always stand aside the protection of free speech in this country. But this goes well beyond that, because we're not talking about restraining the gentleladies from Michigan's ability to speak as an American citizen. We're not talking about punishing her, putting her in jail. What we're talking about is whether a member of the United States House of Representatives, whether a member of this body representing this nation is justified in putting forward a defense of the actions of Hamas terrorists that murdered innocent Israeli citizens is holding United States citizens and Israelis hostage, and in her own language was defending on October 8th, a mere 24 hours into the brutal and barbaric attacks in which babies were beheaded, babies were placed into ovens, literally. Moms were raped in a house while their babies were put in an oven. A documented account, video evidence. And this is dismissed as resistance to an apartheid state. My problem is that the gentlelady is also referring to, quote, Joe Biden supporting the genocide of the Palestinian people. The gentlelady has put forward that by virtue of the United States of America funding in solidarity the people of Israel in defense of their right to exist, that by virtue of our position as Americans, standing in front of that flag in this chamber representing 330 million Americans, that by funding and supporting Israel, we are somehow perpetuating the call for violence that we saw unfold right before our eyes on October 7th in the most brutal and heinous acts that some of us have ever seen. I do not doubt the gentlelady's sincerity of her concern for her home people and concerns about the attacks on the people of Gaza. I had some people who called into question that I would put out my public support for my former colleague, Justin Amash, who lost cousins in a church, receiving missile fire into a building next to a church. I genuinely pray for the people of Israel, the people of Gaza, the people throughout the world that are now dealing with all of this. But the gentlelady cannot, as a member of Congress, be standing up and telling the world that what we saw unfold in attacking Israel is justified. We can't. Free speech matters. I have grave concern right now about where this institution is going with respect to censures. I voted against the censure last week because I thought it had drafting problems, and I thought it had significant concerns it raised. I believe the work that was done by my friend from Georgia here put forward a resolution that is worthy of support. And so I support the resolution and believe that we should pass it. I thank the gentleman from Georgia.
On this vote, the yeas are 234 and the nays are 188, with 4 answering present. The resolution is adopted.
Wow. Let's unpack that because there is so much to break down. First up, Chip Roy. My man came with the facts. He came with the receipts. He didn't just yell, he spoke with the kind of cold, hard anger that comes from being right. He stood there and detailed the absolute horror of what happened. Babies were beheaded. Babies were placed into ovens. He's not making that up, and he calls her out for her own words, for calling that resistance. Can you imagine? A member of the United States Congress justifying that level of barbarism? Chip Roy was having none of it. He's standing up for America, for our allies, and for basic human decency. That's what a leader looks like. And then, Rashida Tlaib gets up to speak. And what's the first thing she does? She plays the victim. She says she's being silenced. Lady, you're speaking in the well of the House of Representatives with a C-SPAN camera on you. That is the opposite of being silenced. She says her criticism is just of the Israeli government and Netanyahu. Oh really? Is that why you were posting videos with the chant "From the river to the sea"? A chant that, as we all know, is a call for the complete elimination of Israel. She's not just criticizing, she's promoting a genocidal slogan. Then she gets emotional. She starts to cry. She holds up a picture of her city, her grandmother. Look, I don't care about her grandmother. What I care about are her constituents in Detroit who she is supposed to be representing. And listen to her words. She says, "I'm the only Palestinian American. My perspective is needed here." What perspective is that exactly? The perspective that resistance includes ovens. She says, "The cries of the Palestinian and Israeli children sound no different to me." What a disgusting false equivalence. She is deliberately ignoring the fact that one side is a terrorist organization that targets children, and the other side is a nation trying to avoid civilian casualties while hunting those same terrorists. She talks about being from Detroit, but in the same breath she says she feels more Palestinian in Congress. That tells you everything you need to know. Where is her loyalty? Is it to the people of Michigan, or is it to a foreign cause that's openly anti-Semitic? Her speech wasn't about America. It wasn't about her constituents. It was about her agenda, and her grievance. And did you see who was standing right behind her, patting her on the back? Ilhan Omar. Of course, the whole squad. It's the same crew every single time, pushing the same anti-American, anti-Israel nonsense. They stood there and comforted her while she cried crocodile tears right after she defended the indefensible. So yeah, she was censured. She was dragged out of Congress, politically speaking, and it's about time. Chip Roy and the Republicans who voted for this did the right thing. It's the bare minimum to hold someone accountable for using their office to spread hate and lies. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Was this censure long overdue? Are Republicans like Chip Roy, Byron Donalds, and the rest doing the right thing by finally drawing a line in the sand and holding these members accountable? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching.